Hello, greedy gulpers. Sorry for the bad mic quality as I don't actually have a true microphone yet, so I'm recording this on my mobile device for convenience. Disclaimers: bullying, homophobia, transphobia, mentions of SH and SA. Proceed with caution. So, the school year is starting again. Some of you probably groaned at the thought of going back to learning at a place that's less than ideal for growing minds. I was like that for years. However, I've grown a lot myself, and with that, so has my personality. I'm less of a pain than what I was, and I'm so proud of myself to be where I am. But I know that many people are struggling with what I've struggled with for so many years. I understand what it's like to be bullied over things that seem insignificant or things I can't control. But I know I also have been a perpetrator in bullying as well. Picture this. A little bat running around a small rural elementary school, wanting to befriend everyone he meets because people are fun. Playing is fun. Talking is fun. Then imagine his surprise when he found out there were rumors about how he never brushed his fangs, or his coat, or that he had bugs in his fur, all from people he wanted to be around. When I was in elementary school, I was either ignored or bullied because of rumors certain people made about me. I always hated when people would talk behind my back, but I kept on trusting because I thought people could change. And they can't. Some of them just get worse. Especially if you come out of the closet in such a very close-minded area nonetheless. I started hurting myself because of how alone I felt. After elementary school, the teachers liking me more than my peers, I moved on to middle school. I thought I was growing so well, getting older and thinking I was mature. Spoiler alert, I was not. If elementary school was bad, imagine how awful middle school was. Being pushed against lockers and walls and having things ripped out of my hands, finding friends that were terrible for me, dating one of those friends for about 3 weeks, being overly sensitive about nothing, and all that stuff. Other than that, I can't remember a lot about 6th grade, but when 7th grade came along, it was one of the worst years of my life. Back in 5th grade, I remember being told by our music teacher that 7th grade was to be the most dramatic year of our school lives. I should have heeded that warning, but I didn't. The year was okay. We wore masks after the whole pandemic started fizzling out, and I hated school. Absolutely despised it. In fact, the first time I was ever called a slur was that June when me and my quote-unquote friends wore our pride flags as cape for Pride Month, almost like a last hurrah before we went away for the summer. I walked into the hall during passing time, and 2 boys walked past me. I heard them utter a word that shook me to my core and made me fume with anger. I was seething. I could feel myself tensing up as if I was trying so hard to hold back tears. Eventually, I told my parents. I don't want to get into the details of that situation, as it's done and over with. Nothing came of it, though. By 8th grade, I was still a teacher's pet. I didn't mind, because they were lenient with me, and they liked me, and treated me better than the students that were supposed to be good for social interactions, as I was extremely socially awkward at the time. That's when the threats came rolling back in. We, the queers, used to call them the Trumpies. They would call us names, threaten to essay us, spreading rumors, etc. And the principal favored them over us because we were being dramatic or something. However, that was not the case. We were literally being harassed. Granted, we were pushy with our outwardly queer identities, but it didn't stop. In fact, it got worse for freshman and sophomore year. I had pictures around the school of me, people making sexual jokes about me and making up lies. I hated it. I hated everything about it. I quit the production I was doing in theater. I didn't bother with any extracurriculars. I hung out with bad friends. I stopped being who I was to and became who I didn't want to be. I gave in to anger. Anger is why I have my therapist. There was an incident where over Discord, I had said some things in the GSA vent chat, thinking it was okay because it was supposed to be a safe space to talk about things. But I was unmedicated and worded things very, very poorly. So poorly, in fact, that one day I was called into the office with word of me being a threat to others. I had one of, if not the worst panic attack of my life that day. Later in the day, I was greeted by a woman eventually after I had been in the office the whole time. She was funny, nice, she listened to me talk, and she asked if she could be my therapist. I asked if my mom was going to be told. And yes, she was. But to my surprise, she wasn't mad about it. She was a little disappointed, but she cared so much, and that incident opened so many doors to a mental health care that I needed. We had a risk assessment, and that's the day things started to go up, until it went down again, and the bullying continued. It was less though. Since then, I've been diagnosed with a few different disorders such as ADD, OCD, bipolar disorder, a tic disorder, etc. But you know what? I'm so happy a lot of good came from the bad. I'm more mature now, more lucid. I think and problem solve logically. No, I'm not saying bullying is good or okay because the bullying for me faded away at the end of sophomore year. I'm saying that bullying isn't the end of the world. It's not everything. It's hard to stand up for yourself and let yourself be confident. Self-love is something I still struggle with. I have such a hard time getting close to people because I don't feel like they're being honest with me. All because in elementary school, I was a little eccentric. Some of those bullies can eventually become your friends. Things can get better. I know it's hard to believe. I was told the same thing for so many years, but I never listened. When I did, though, it's like my world rebuilt itself into something more than what I originally thought it could be. I'm happier, more confident. I've made good friends. I continue to meet people, and I'm no longer the little bat I was, chasing nothing for years and years. Now that I'm older, I have things in my grasp that were right under my nose that I never thought to chase after. My parents and I have grown so much closer since everything has happened. I trust them, they trust me, and I know not every family is like that. I didn't think my family was, but they also have grown and blossomed into people who understand me. Not everyone has loving, caring parents or family members like I do, but there are people out there that would, that will, that do care and love you. You're going to be okay. Things will be okay. And you'll understand that sometimes you have to power through it, no matter how hard it seems. Being a victim of bullying doesn't mean you're weak or stupid or a nerd or anything of the sort. It just means people haven't matured enough yet to care about the issues and consequences of their own. I went from hating school for 12 years to being happy. I get to keep moving on, and including myself in theater, choir, art, all of that, all of the things that I wanted to do. I finally have the time to breathe and go at a pace that works for me, because I go to an alternative school. Sometimes all you need is to tell someone what's going on. As Mama Ru always says, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen up in here? Amen.